Welcome to Truth and Taboo with your host, Wanda Trotter, the show that fearlessly tackles subject matter that society often avoids. Each week, we will peel back the layers of secrecy, challenge societal norms, and embark on a journey of honesty. Brace yourself for thought-provoking discussions, eye-opening interviews, and moments that will give you deeper introspection. It's time for Truth and Taboo, where no topic is off limits and where we uncover the stories that have long been kept in the shadows. So, get ready to be a part of the conversation that breaks barriers and sparks change in another amazing segment of Truth and Taboo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Truth and Taboo Show. I'm George Sanders, your host for today, and we have an incredible show lined up for you filled with a fascinating conversation. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing the brilliant creator and host of the Truth and Taboo Show, Wanda Trotter. In just a moment, we'll delve into Wanda's inspiration behind the show and get a glimpse of what to expect for future episodes. But before we proceed, let's take a short commercial break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Are you looking to get in shape? Have you considered boxing? Well, the Fighting Edge boxing team of Titusville, Florida, home of incredible local and regional fighters, might be what you're looking for. The Fighting Edge boxing team is the ideal place to get in shape with a boxing regimen that will have you physically fit and conditioned in no time. Check out our mobile app for upcoming fights and other calendar events. Give us a visit and get in shape with the Fighting Edge boxing team of Titusville.
Do you have a vacant or rehab property and ready to sell? Well, the solution to your real estate needs is here, the Walker Group. We understand the challenges of selling vacant and rehab properties and are committed to providing you with a hassle-free selling experience. With the Walker Group, you can expect personalized attention, fair offers, and a seamless transaction process from start to finish. Don't let your property sit idle any longer. Contact us today and let us help you turn it into cash. Unlock the potential of your property with the Walker Group.
And we're back. I'm George Sanders, your stand-in host for the Truth and Taboo Show. As I mentioned earlier, this is our inaugural episode, and it's bound to be extraordinary. In just a few moments, we'll hear from Wanda Trotter, the remarkable creator and host of the Truth and Taboo Show. I'm genuinely thrilled about the show's thought-provoking topics and subject matter. Equally exciting is Wanda herself, a phenomenal businesswoman, marketing expert, and incredible talk show host. Her genuine love for people shines through in her work. So without further ado, let's welcome Wanda to the show. How are you today, Wanda?
I'm well, George. Thank you so much. How are you? Thanks
I'm
for
doing
being
good.
my host.
Listen, you guys are getting me to do this hosting thing. Y'all might not get your job back because I kind of
Uh-oh.
love this. You know, the limelight is kind of feeling good. I might stick around and do this again. Look for the next show, and then you can come on about the third show, and then no, we better keep you on. So, Wanda, you and I get an opportunity to talk off air about your show and all the things that you've done. Tell the audience what has inspired you to create your own talk show.
Well, I feel there's a need for people to hear from the average everyday person. I love watching talk shows. It's my favorite type of show. And, of course, I love the sensationalism. We all do love the sensationalism about, our favorite celebrities. I also like dramas and reality shows and good movies, but I feel there's also a need for people to see shows where they can relate to people like themselves, like average, everyday people.
Mhm.
And so I just kind of felt like there was a void there, and I felt that I wanted to fill it.
Well, I very much like that. I am a huge fan of talk shows myself, and I think that's one of the reasons why I started the Talk Show Academy. And it has been a blessing to have folks just like yourself who are passionate, dedicated, and also full of life to inspire other people. And as I said, just it's been a blessing to be able to just to get knowledge from you, to conversate with you, to find out. I mean, you've taught me even stuff about marketing that I think a lot of people are going to realize that you're like a marketing whiz as well. Speaking of that, tell us a little bit about Wanda Trotter. What should we know about you as we're watching episodes of your talk show?
Well, I'm very passionate about the experience of being at peace. I've been through quite a few things in life, and a lot of people see me as this very poised person, and people say that to me quite often. But I've been through quite a few changes in life myself. I've experienced some of the most horrible times that nobody would want to go through, and that I wouldn't even wish on my own enemies. So I kind of feel that sharing those type of experiences and having others who would guests who would be able to come on and share topics that are like normally considered socially sensitive and private, and for example, infidelity, domestic abuse, domestic violence, mental health issues, marriage and relationship topics. There's a lot to be shared and explored. So I felt that with me being or going through some of those types of experiences, that I would be able to connect with others and we'd be able to go on this journey together.
Wow, that's impressive. And one of the things that you mentioned, when you mentioned some of those things that people go through, a lot of times when they're going through these things, they kind of feel like they're the only one experiencing these things, and because of that, there's a little bit of shame. There's a little bit of embarrassment, and sometimes a lot of embarrassment and
Right.
shame when it comes to that. What do you think by exposing or bringing some of these things to light? How do you think it's going to help people that are going through some of these issues?
What I find for myself, and I hope it will resonate with others, is that when you see and learn that others are going through similar experiences, you don't feel so alone, and you don't feel like, again, what you just said, like with the embarrassment and the shame, you can't really talk with family and friends.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times we hold it in and we walk around all day pretending like everything is fine, while all the while inside you're falling apart. So I'm just hoping that with this type of show, we'll be able to connect with others, be able to relate, and that it will benefit someone. If at least one person, then I'll be happy.
Well, I have no doubt that you will do that, because we talk often about the type of content that you're going to have on the show, and I think that really resonating with people and reaching them in these areas that they need to be reached. Again, the world isn't easy, life isn't easy, and oftentimes particularly when we look at social media and what other people perceive to be doing, we think it is. And you guys hear me say on the training, stay away from social media. I don't mean to stay away from social media, because it does have its it's good in certain perspectives, right?
Right.
But a lot of times when we look at others, we only judge them from the best. And when we watch these, particularly social media, we think everybody's has got a job promotion, is having a baby or a grandbaby, or going on a vacation, just bought a new car. And that's not the case. By and large, everybody's going through kind of the same thing. They got to pay bills, they got to go to work, they have arguments with
Down.
spouses. Yeah, all of these things we all have in common. But sometimes when we're looking at it from a different perspective, we think that we're the only ones. And so I'm with you. I'm very much looking forward to the future episodes and the guests that are going to be on your show that are going to shed tremendous light on these various issues and situations. When we come back, we're going to take a small commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Wanda about what we can expect in future episodes and also kind of who she idolizes in the space of talk shows and what has inspired her from a standpoint of who's that person that she says, I'm kind of like that person. And that's what I want to do my talk show like. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to get in shape? Have you considered boxing? Well, the Fighting Edge boxing team of Titusville, Florida, home of incredible local and regional fighters, might be what you're looking for. The Fighting Edge boxing team is the ideal place to get in shape with a boxing regimen that will have you physically fit and conditioned in no time. Check out our mobile app for upcoming fights and other calendar events. Give us a visit and get in shape with the Fighting Edge boxing team of Titusville.
Do you have a vacant or rehab property and ready to sell? Well, the solution to your real estate needs is here, the Walker Group. We understand the challenges of selling vacant and rehab properties and are committed to providing you with a hassle-free selling experience. With the Walker Group, you can expect personalized attention, fair offers, and a seamless transaction process from start to finish. Don't let your property sit idle any longer. Contact us today and let us help you turn it into cash. Unlock the potential of your property with the Walker Group.
And we are back. I am George Sanders, your stand-in host for Truth and Taboo, for your actual host and creator, Miss Wanda Trotter. I keep saying stand-in host. I mean, like I said, she might have to get one of those, what do you call it, a cease and desist order to stop me from being a host. I might anoint myself the Truth and Taboo co-host around
Hey,
here.
I'm enjoying it.
I love every minute of it. So we found out a little bit about you. We found out your inspiration on your talk show. And now I want to talk about, a lot of times we don't like to compare ourselves. But I'll start off with this question. What makes your talk show different than others? And then I'm going to ask you, who would you compare yourself to? What makes your show different than the other talk shows that we're going to see?
Well, one of the main things that's going to be different is that we're not going to have celebrity guests. Well, we may occasionally, to be honest with you, I do have a couple of celebrity guests or friends that have volunteered to help me out. So, but it's not going to be that type of show. It's going to be average, everyday people that we can relate to, that, you know, you and I can relate to, moms, pops, sisters, brothers. So a lot of times when we watch shows, they are already scripted. So this is going to be a completely unscripted show where people are going to share things that are considered normally socially sensitive, private. We're going to be hearing some gut-wrenching testimonies. We're going to be spotlighting real people with extraordinary experiences. And I did mention earlier, we're going to talk about everything, including domestic violence, infidelity. We're also going to be having some funny moments and some happy moments. But the main thing is that we're going to be focusing on real life topics. It's going to be raw, and it's going to be, again, average, everyday people. We're not going to be scripted, and we're not going to be having a lot of celebrities on the show. So it's going to be
Very
people
good.
that we can all relate to.
As you mentioned that, you've been in the Talk Show Academy training, and one of the things that we always talk about is every single person has unique experience that we all can learn from,
Right.
right? So we may have similar experiences. We may have loss of a loved one, fire from a job, financial issues,
Right.
but individually our experience in those situations and those issues are unique, and how we deal with them, how we've dealt with them, and ultimately the victory that we've had, because we've all overcome those things, right? Makes us unique, and we that means we have something to offer. So those guests that you're going to have on are going to be able to shed some light to people that may be going through the situation and pulling out their hair, saying, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this financial problem, or I don't know how I'm going to deal with the loss of a parent, or the loss of a job, or how do I handle these things? And so hearing from other people not only gives you some level of direction, but it gives you inspiration also, because that other people have overcome this situation, and you can find yourself in the understanding that I'm no different than anybody else. And so if they were victorious, then I can be victorious too. So yes, I am very much looking forward to that, because whenever I find myself in the dilemma, I even sometimes go to Google, and particularly when it comes to business things, and I may be in a business dilemma, I'll Google, who's been through this. And so whether it's a Jay-Z or Tyler Perry, or you know what I mean, Elon
Right.
Musk, I'm looking for other people that have had similar experiences, and then how can I learn from them, and how can I personally grow from them. So we know how your show's going to be different. Tell us who you look up to, who's your icon that you say, that person right there, they do it right. And I'm trying to mold my show, or mold kind of my style. I know you're a unique person, but kind of take bits and pieces from that person.
Well, I might be dating myself now. Of course, I love Oprah. I think I've watched every episode 2 or 3 times.
Well,
So that would be one that I would be kind of using. I would be looking at that show as a guide, but also shows like Phil Donahue. Now I know I'm dating myself. Sally Jesse Raphael, those type of talk shows, like back in the day, to me those were real, and I felt inspired. I felt very inspired a lot of times by watching those shows. So again, some of the more modern day shows, I do like the Steve Harvey show. I kind of like that type of format. So we're going to be like looking at our own style in that way. But yes, I would say more so Oprah would be more of a model that I would like to kind of not be my, Oprah, but just looking at her show as a guide. So that's kind of my inspiration and motivation as well.
Well, I like that. Well, if you wouldn't be in bad company with the great O, you would not be.
Right.
And look, I even pattern, with her having her own network. I look at people like her and Byron Allen and Tyler Perry, and it's one of the things that we've been inspired with, the Daily Gospel Network and the Talk Show Academy, and then we've got entertainment TV coming up, and all those things. So we kind of look at these people, and we, the team, we say, what did they do, and then how did they overcome? It's one thing to be able to look at people and see success, right? But the other part is being smart enough to know that this was not just a path of red roses and gummy bears, right? They
Right.
went through something
Right.
to get there. But I will tell you, you're not in bad company with the people you named. Now, you did go a little old school on me with the Sally Jesse Raphael. Now, if I see you, Wanda, with some red glasses on, we're gonna have to talk now. We like, I mean, we're gonna have to have a strong and serious conversation. But yeah, you went back there. You grabbed Phil Donahue. I mean, but you know what? I will say this. Okay, so it's saying something about me that I actually know who these people are. So I'm dating myself as well. But I will tell you one thing. Both of those people that you mentioned, Sally Jesse Raphael and Phil Donahue, they were also serious journalists as well.
Mhm.
So particularly Phil Donahue, it wasn't, you know, a lot of times you can watch television now, whether it's a talk show, whether it's reality shows, and you can get a lot of sensationalism, right? And you had mentioned earlier about things being scripted. 'Cause, God rest Jerry Springer. So, I mean, I watched this show. So I mean, he entertained me for years. I remember we used to come back from when we were in college, we'd go back to the dorm room and it'd be like 10, 15 brothers, just around the television watching Jerry Springer in the afternoon. But obviously it was scripted. And so when you talk about those people like Phil Donahue and Sally Jesse Raphael, these were people who were serious journalists who brought stories onto their talk show that really went to the fabric of human beings, and it resonated with people. I can tell you what, the first time I ever really saw Louis Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan, was on Phil Donahue show.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, it was the first time, and I remember that so vividly. But he wasn't biased. He asked questions that were uh, stern, serious questions, but he wasn't one side or the other, and that's one of the things that I appreciate. So my friend Wanda, you are in very good company. That you are modeling yourself off some great folks, and as we anticipate your show to come, what can we look forward to in terms of um where it's going to be, where they can find it? Obviously you're going to be on the Daily Gospel Network, but
Right.
where will they be able to find your show? What do you plan on putting your show at?
Well, George, before I answer that question, there's one thing that I would like to mention as well when I say that I'm inspired by Oprah. If you know her life story, her childhood was not the best at all. I mean, being sent away from home, being sent away, by her mother, feeling rejected. She experienced being molested as a child. She had to sleep outside on the porch. And, even when she became a young adult and she started working, she experienced problems on her job where they told her not to wear her hair a certain way, and she was trying to conform and that wasn't working out. So if you know her life story and you see all the things that she had to overcome, that really inspires me as well to say, like, wow, look at what she went through. Like, I had a great childhood for the most part. I never had to deal with any of those type of things. But when you look at people who have gone through such terrible times and they've been able to overcome that and exceed and do more than some people do in a lifetime, that's really inspiring as well. So I just wanted to, bring that out or emphasize that particular point is also one of the reasons why I'm inspired to bring this show. So, as far as where people will be able to find me, I do have a new Facebook page and it's called Truth and Taboo. So, just searching that, I'm hoping people will join and just like join in the conversation. I'm hoping that people will, interact and just be part of this journey. Then, of course, the website, truthandtaboo.com. I'm also on Instagram. I have a new Instagram page just for the show. And so I'm hoping that people will connect with me on social media and connect with the on the website. And on the website, it's going to have other links where the show will be streamed. But thanks so much to the Daily Gospel Network for having me.
Well, we are happy to have you. We when we started on this journey, we said we're looking for content for people who have, particularly talk shows, because we've got a lot of church, a lot of preaching and teaching, but the body of Christ is a very diverse group, and so we want talk shows that can be a blessing to people on various subjects and the practicality of life and how to live life and how to be victorious in various things. And I am certain that your show is going to provide that and be one of the talk shows that's going to be one of the shining and brightest stars to come on the Daily Gospel Network and entertainment television. So we're gonna have you on both networks and like I said, shining like the star that we know you are. So as we get ready to kind of wrap things up, what do you want your viewers to take away from your show every week when they watch it, Wanda?
Well, the first thing I want viewers to take away is, as we said earlier, just to feel like they're not alone in this big world. And I want the viewers to be able to relate to the guests. And I want them to feel the heartfelt testimonies. And so then on top of that, what I would like is for the viewers to feel at the end of the show, we're going to be talking about how to find some peace and happiness in our life, even going through the most difficult and the most turbulent of times. How can we get through these hard times, and how can we just even find moments of peace throughout the day to get through it one day at a time? And that's really the main thing that I would hope that people would get through, just have a really good, warm and fuzzy feeling at the end of every show.
Wow. Well, I am very much looking forward to it. I'm going to be one of your avid fans and avid watchers. And I want to tell everyone, thank you so much for tuning into today's show, Truth and Taboo, with the one and only Wanda Trotter. I am the stand-in host for today, and maybe next episode we'll talk about that. I don't know. Wanda might put me on contract. Stand-in host, co-host.
We can talk about that. I like that. I like that.
I don't come cheap now, Wanda. I don't come cheap.
Well, I see that I can learn from you. So
a bag of chips and a Coke. I'm easy. But we have had a wonderful time today, and I want to thank you for being one of the best parts of the Daily Gospel Network and the Talk Show Academy. It's people like you that inspire others. We have people that have had little to no camera experience and film experience that embark on this journey because it's something that they've always wanted to fulfill. And we have people like yourself who are actually showing people that this can be done, and they have a voice, and a voice that needs to be heard, and it is going to make the world a better place for that. So we thank you and we appreciate you, Wanda Trotter, and we're looking forward to some great things and some impressive things from you. And as I said, everyone, you can catch her on social media, just about every social media platform that is out there. And most importantly, you can catch her on the Daily Gospel Network every single week. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Truth and Taboo. God bless everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Truth and Taboo with your host, Wanda Trotter, the show that fearlessly tackles subject matter that society often avoids. Join us each week as we will peel back the layers of secrecy, challenge societal norms, and embark on a journey of honesty. This is your opportunity for thought-provoking discussions, eye-opening interviews, and moments that will give you deeper introspection. On Truth and Taboo, no topic is off limits as we strive to uncover stories that have long been kept in the shadows. So until next week, God bless from your friends at Truth and Taboo and host Wanda Trotter.